Good evening, everyone. This is Rebecca with Red True Crime, and oh goodness gracious! First, let me apologize for my appearance. I am battling the flu, and but this case that I'm about to talk about is just so shocking, so upsetting. I foregoing my health to be on here tonight to talk about this. So we are going to talk about, and I'm sure you've heard about this because it's amazing how quickly this incident has made nationwide news. But we are going to be talking about the stabbing of the 16-year-old boy at North Forsyth High School in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. This hits a little bit closer to home for me because I'm in Greensboro, North Carolina, which is Guilford County, and I'm approximately 30 minutes away from where this high school is. And I have kids who are not that far removed from high school. My youngest child graduated high school in 2023. So, this is crazy because I even when my oldest 2 kids were in school, they graduated in 2020. But when I was, having to go to school for things, for either one of them, chaos was always erupting in their high school. And, it was not unusual to see students being carried out by administrators, followed by High Point police getting involved because of fighting and threats and whatnot. In fact, if I remember correctly, there was an incident where students got into it so bad and a teacher tried to get involved. They actually got knocked down the staircase and got hurt very badly. So, this has been ongoing for some time, and the fact that someone has now died because of the ongoing chaos in these schools is not surprising at all. So, there is a video that is circulating. I've seen the video. I've seen 2 different angles of said video. So, it's been multiple videos. And for me, I will not because the mother of this child, I'm sure, has seen it and will be replaying the last moments of her son over and over in her mind. And that's awful for any parent. You've heard me go on and on about how my husband died tragically in a car accident. And that's upsetting. When you lose a spouse, I can't even tell you the I mean, I can't really explain the grief that you feel when you lose a spouse, especially when you don't see it coming. But to lose one of your kids, that's a whole other level of grief that I don't think anybody should ever have to endure. And I personally can't even explain that grief because I've not lost any of my kids. But, I can imagine it's probably worse than losing a spouse because that is a young life cut off before it's even had a chance to do anything. I'm sorry. It's upsetting. So, this is the gentleman, the young boy that was lost his life yesterday. This is, Cameron Graham. 16 years old. I mean, look at that smile. It's awful to know that they got into an argument, he and the other boy, over, from what I understand, was over a weed pen, like a vape. That's what they were fighting over. Multiple people have been posting, and I know people who've been posting. Some of them follow my channel. Were saying there were 15 kids in the restroom hanging out, smoking, vaping on this pen. Um, from what also I understand, and this has made the news here in the last year, Forsyth County Schools, which is the county where this high school is, was way over budget, like by like tune of like millions of dollars. And the only way they could compensate for that being over is to cut back on staff and whatnot. So that means they have metal detectors in that school, but they don't always use them because they don't always have the staff there to monitor it. So there you have it. But here's what I do have. I have some still shots from inside the bathroom and the boy with the knife before anything actually happens because I'm not going to show you his body laying in the hallway. I'm not going to show you that because nobody needs to see that. Now, I'm just going to say this, it's all over the web, it's all over social media. So if you really want to see it, you can find it. Okay. But I'm going to warn you now, it's upsetting on multiple levels, and nobody with kids needs to see that. So, let's see here. Now, from the video that I witnessed, there is something that goes on before the recording actually takes place. And it might be a recording of what actually, precedes what actually happened, but that has not been released. But it does start off with one person showing the kid coming into the bathroom and someone saying, "Bro, he got a knife." And it's said multiple times, and then the scuffling happens. So here is the boy, and they've not released his name. Now, oops, let's see. Nope, not that one. This one. This is the boy walking into the bathroom with the knife. It's kind of hard to tell whether or not he has the knife in his hand at that point, but let's see. This one here, if you look at his hand, he's already got the knife drawn out in his hand. But some shots, it looks like he already had it out in his hand when he was walking into the bathroom, hence the kid saying, "Oh my god, he has a knife. Bro got a knife." But this is them before they get into the kerfuffle, as I like to call it, and this is them going at it. Now, at this point, I believe Cameron has gotten stabbed. Now, this child, if you look at the video, once that happens, you see him get up, you see him kind of bump into the bathroom stalls and then go out into the hallway, and then he falls to the ground, like, just throws himself onto the ground, and he's, like, right in front of a wall, facing the wall. And then kids are coming out going, "Somebody get help, someone call 911." They're yelling, they're screaming, including the boy that stabbed him comes out and approaches him again. Now, whether he stabs him again, I don't know, but some are saying he did. But when the other kids come out, they're upset, they're yelling, "Get help, get help." And the school just went on complete lockdown. Like, they hadn't even been in school that long because, they were on a 2-hour delay because we got some snow and ice, this week, and, they were on a 2-hour delay. So, this all went down basically within an hour of school starting. Now, people were commenting, "How did 15 kids end up in a bathroom and nobody saw anything?" I don't know. A lot is being said that kids are teaching themselves, the teachers have no rule, no order of these students, because these kids are just doing whatever the hell they wanna do, and I can kinda see it because, teachers really have no stance anymore with kids, they just don't, you've got kids just being rude, being, obstinate, threatening to hurt teachers, and there is no respect anymore. I mean, you've got this situation here where this young boy has been killed. Before this, you've got the kids in elementary, middle school level beating up on a mom and 2 kids in Chicago, which made social media and the internet crazy. And then you've right after that happened, you've got the people who a mom and her daughter got jumped by a bunch of kids in Maryland. Same thing. What the hell is going on? Because I have my oldest daughter, she's 23, she's in school right now. She is studying to be a teacher. And I cannot tell you how terrified I am about her walking into a school under these circumstances because there's these kids are insane. I don't know if it's because, they have lack of parenting at home or they have great parents and these kids are just falling in the wrong people. I don't know what the answer is. I mean, I can sit there and say that I am so damn glad that my kids are out of school and done because seeing something like this, knowing something like this happen, I would have yanked them out and homeschooled them at that point. I'm being honest because it scares the heck out of me. And I was I was teaching back in Kentucky when we lived there in the Lexington area. I was substitute teaching, and I was seeing it even then. And this is like 2009, 2010, 2009 to 2012. I did that. Parents were just not taking accountability for their kids' behavior or were just kind of distancing themselves, especially 'cause I worked in special education. I was seeing it there. And I was hearing kids go off on teachers like, I actually got put in, handling after school detention for some kids and in school suspension, that was my job for the day. And, before we got to the after school, I had one kid, it was a middle school, and he was probably about 13 years old. It seemed like he had a lot going on, and the principal came in, and I will never forget this. So I'm not putting this all on the kids. You've got some administrators and you've got some teachers that are just complete asses and just wanna just power hungry. But I'll never forget this, the principal came in and not knowing what's going on, says to the kid, "Your mom's out of town and your sister I'm gonna call CPS," and and just basically threatened him, and I'm like, "What on earth?" And the principal walked out, and he picked up that desk. He was so mad, he picked up that desk and he threw it. I took a step back. I'm like, "What the heck?" And he looked at me, and he saw the look on my face, and, he grabs the desk, and he picks it back up, and he sits down. And he looked at me, and he goes, "You're gonna call somebody on me, aren't you?" And I said, "Well," I said, "why don't you tell me what the heck's going on, and I can make a decision after that." And he just looked at me, and I said, "Look," I said, "I'm a sub. You don't know me. But obviously there's something going on in your family and something going on between you and this principal. So how about you tell me what's happening and I'll be more than glad to listen." I said, "Because I'm not going to judge you because you don't know me. I don't know you. So let's talk." And he was telling me about how his mom had a boyfriend and, they were going on a cruise and his sister, who was 19 years old, was keeping an eye on them at the house. So she's legal. But for whatever reason, this principal had an issue with this family. And it just seemed like she was abusing her position and just constantly just making trouble for them. And I've been through that myself because I actually had a guidance counselor in Lexington that didn't like my husband and I and was constantly just calling CPS for any reason whatsoever. Like there was a situation where Maya, my youngest, would like to slam the door to her room, and my oldest daughter got her arm caught in the door, had to put a cast on her, and took her to the hospital. We explained what happened, and I took her to school, and that guidance counselor saw that cast on her arm and demanded the nurse to take it and see if it's abuse, and the nurse is like, "I'm not doing that." I mean, it was just crap like that. And so you'll get these administrators that literally want to be up in your face about everything. I think that particular administrator in my situation was racist. I don't think she believed in interracial couples, and that was where a lot of that started with that. But I digress. Um, so you have that one side of it, and then you have the situation where these kids are so emboldened, they don't respect anybody. I know several people that are teaching currently. Um, Person I'm with, he got out of it because they were like, "Look, I'm tired of dealing with these kids on this level. I can't teach them anything, and then the scores are gonna come back, and it's gonna make me look bad because, like, I'm not doing my job, but I'm doing everything I can." But they've missed A, B, and C. So, it's tough out there to be a teacher, it really is, especially if you're in the STEM, science, mathematics, anything like that, because these kids are just missing the beginnings, and when they get to the, levels where it really matters and you have to know your basics, they're failing. And then you've got the kids who wanna be they think they're grown, and they're gonna do what they wanna do regardless of what you tell them, and now you have this situation with young Cameron Graham now dead. And now his parents and his family are going to try and do a Christmas with somebody missing. I don't know how you do that. On the other hand, you've got the family of the boy who did the stabbing, and now their lives are gonna be changed forever because this kid committed murder. Whether it was premeditated, whether it was accidental, self-defense, but you've got video of him walking in there with the knife. So it seems like he went in there with an intent to do something. What that intent was, I don't know. Whether it was to kill, to maim, to scare, I don't know. But this is where we're at today, people. Be afraid. Because, yeah, you may not have kids in school. You might have grandkids in school. I don't have any grandkids, so I don't have to worry about it right now. But my daughter is going to be teaching in these schools. And that scares the heck out of me because I don't want her to get stabbed. You've got teachers getting beaten up. You've got teachers getting stabbed. You've got teachers being jumped. I mean, it's all over the place. So forget them going after students. Now they're going after adults in the system. And these teachers can't do anything about it. They're expected to sit there and take it. And that doesn't make any sense to me because especially if these kids have weapons, what are you supposed to do? So Give me a comment, give me an opinion, let me know what you all think, but I'm telling you, this is insane, and like I said before, the video of what happened to this boy is out there. You don't have to look very hard, it's out there. Just about everybody has it. It's been cut up and, different content creators have it on their pages. I'm just not gonna show it because, like I said, the internet is forever, and I know this mother of this boy is beyond grieved about what happened to her son, and and the fact that that video of his last moments is out there, I don't think she wants anyone to see that. So, that's my 2 cents. Okay. Well, this is Rebecca with Retro Crime. As you can tell, my face is getting flushed and I'm very tired and not well. So I just wanted to come out here and give my 2 cents on this. And I will see you guys soon. But please be careful. Talk to your kids if you've got them in school. And I don't know what the answer is, everybody. I really don't. I mean, I guess we've got to take some accountability at home, and the school system needs to be better. They need to get their funding back because we can't lose any more students. We can't. Because my thing is if you're that terrified of your kid getting hurt, then keep them home and homeschool, but I don't know if that's the answer either. That's what I would have done for mine, but that's just me. But, good night, everyone, and, please be safe and, talk to your kids. And prayers to Cameron Graham's family, and prayers to the family of the boy that caused his demise because they're both kids. Have a good night, everybody.